Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lyric Opera of the North Valentine's Day soiree. I want to thank the LOON for inviting us to be a part of this event, and I also want to thank Vikre Distillery for being a part of this as well. My name is Jonathan Resnick. I'm the owner of Mid-Coast Catering, and I will be your personal chef for the evening. Tonight we're going to be cooking a seared pork tenderloin with a Dijon shallot reduction sauce, dill carrots, and rosemary roasted fingerlings. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take you over to our ingredients and get this rolling. So over here we have our fingerling potatoes. We have the garlic and fresh rosemary mixture that will be tossed with the fingerlings. We have baby carrots. We have fresh dill that will go on these at the end. All these ingredients right here are for our Dijon reduction. So we have a little bit of fresh thyme, shallots, some sherry, Dijon, a little bit of butter to roast our shallots in, and our cream. And then we just got a little bit of vegetable oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. And we also have our trimmed tenderloin. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this bad boy and bring it over here and just give it a little bit of love, with a little bit of salt and pepper on all sides. Pat this down, so you want to get this thing in the oven first, so it gives us enough time to cook off the rest of our stuff. And it will get done a little bit earlier, but we need to give it a few moments to rest, so if we cook everything properly, our timing will be perfect. And now let's bring this guy over to the stovetop and I'll show you how to sear it. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with our fingerlings, and we're just going to toss them in a little bit of vegetable oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. We will be adding this at the very end, but we don't want to add that now because that garlic and that rosemary in there, it's going to burn. It's going to get too hot, it's going to burn, and we don't want to do that. So we want to add it at the end, and it's going to give it a really fresh taste. So what we're going to do is we're going to use about a quarter of the vegetable oil I gave you. Just throw it in there a little bit. Then we're going to take a little pinch, a little salt and pepper, just like that. Season accordingly. If you don't like it that much, don't put that much in. If you like a lot of salt, a lot of pepper, go to town. So we're going to take these, give them a little toss, and what we're going to do is we can use these same exact containers that everything came in. So you guys don't have to dirty up any pans, and they'll roast perfectly in here. And you want to make sure they're evened out on the bottom there. And we're going to do the same thing with our carrots. So we're going to grab our carrots, we're going to put it in a bowl, and we're going to add our fresh dill at the very end. So what we want to do once again is just a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil, a little bit of salt and pepper. We're just going to kind of give it a little love. I'm wearing gloves, but feel free to use your hands. Just make sure you wash them thoroughly all the time. So now that these are kind of lubed up, got a little salt and pepper on there. We're going to throw them back in our container. Make sure these guys are kind of sitting down like that. And now we're going to throw these in the oven. We have a preheated oven at 400 degrees, which is going to cook the potatoes, the carrots, and the pork. Will all be cooked at the same temperature.
So, first things first, we're going to take our potatoes and our carrots, and we're going to throw them in an oven, again, reheated at 400 degrees. Right after that, we're going to be searing off all sides of the pork loin, as Jonathan had mentioned. And it takes probably about a minute to a minute and a half on each side just to get the outside completely caramelized and delicious. Just give it a nice little rotation with some tongs. Sometimes it won't sit up perfectly, and that's alright. You just rotate it to the other side. And once we're done searing it, we're going to transport it back to a sheet pan that we're going to put back in. You can use the little metal things that we provided for you, just like the vegetables are in, and you can put it right next to those veggies so it cooks all the way through. Always give the camera a smile. Next, we're going to start on our cream sauce. First, we start off with a little bit of butter. Make sure it's all nice and melted. We're going to add those chopped shallots and cook those down nicely. Get them a little caramelized, a little aromatic. And always make sure you're stirring so nothing gets super burnt. This is always going to be on a low to medium low heat, just so you're not burning anything. Next, we're going to add our sherry and just let that deglaze a little bit. That means it's just getting the bits off the bottom, and it's also burning off the alcohol, so you're not going to have a crazy alcohol taste. After that is going to be our cream and our Dijon, and make sure you get that all nice and mixed up. Add a little bit of thyme. We'll remove that at the end, of course, just so you're not getting a big bite of thyme. And now it's just a little bit of a waiting game. You've got your vegetables and your pork in the oven, just cooking off, roasting off real nicely. And we're just going to kind of let this sauce reduce a little bit. And always make sure you're stirring pretty regularly, just so nothing burns to the bottom, and then you have a burnt cream taste. And again, low to medium, low, whatever your comfort is. Add a little bit of salt and pepper here and there. And now we're going to show you kind of the thickness it's going to get to. Just keep in mind that this took probably 10 to 15 minutes to get it to this stage. We just sped it up. And now we're going to be taking out our pork loin just so it can rest. That's always really important with meat. And if you have a thermometer, this is the temperature. We were at 149 degrees or so internally. Now let's take out our veggies and get those prepared. Add a little bit of dill to those delicious carrots. And pour those potatoes into a bowl. Add that rosemary garlic mixture. A little bit of salt and pepper if you're feeling it. Giving it a trippy little mix right there. And we're going to get those on your plate. Next we're going to do the carrots. And then we'll get over to the pork.
Alright, so we just plated our carrots and our potatoes that just came out of the oven. Our pork has been resting for about 10-15 minutes. Our sauce is finished, and so what we're going to do is we're going to slice our pork and get it on our plate and get a little dollop of our Dijon reduction and then enjoy a meal. So, really quick, piece of tenderloin just came out of the oven 10-15 minutes ago. You can see it's still got like a nice little pink on the inside, and that's a-okay. You can cook these as small or as big as you'd like. I probably do about 1/4 of an inch. It's a very tender slice of meat. This portion here is probably actually enough for 2 people or one hungry fella. So act accordingly. Got about 5 medallions sliced here, so what I'm going to do is deliver it over to my plate. I take the cream sauce that I made and just give it a little dollop over the top. Don't need to drown in it. I'm gonna finish it off with a little piece of thyme garnish. And there's our seared pork tenderloin with dilled carrots and roasted rosemary fingerlings. I want to thank everybody for being a part of this evening. We had a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody for supporting local business, supporting the opera, supporting Vikre, and I hope everybody has a great evening. Thank you very much for your time. Hey everyone, if you made some of these recipes this evening and would like to share some comments or pictures, feel free to do so on the Midcoast Facebook page or on Instagram at Midcoast Catering Co. Everybody have a happy Valentine's Day. Thanks.